Do you feel like, and are your friends and family telling you you're at the peak of your career, but at the same time, you're unhappy, you're unfulfilled, and you're just coasting through life in this default mode and wondering, there's gotta be more out there. Hi, this is Grace Lee, host of the Career Revisionist podcast and founder of Career Revisionist, where I show people how to create careers of significance and expand that into living lives of fulfillment. I am talking to you at 9,600 feet above air level, where the air is very thin. I am right now in Breckenridge, Colorado, where it is higher. Denver, Colorado, as you know, is also a very mile-high city, high above the sea level, and I am even higher now. And these gondolas behind me, as you can see, some of them take you up to heights of 13,000 feet above sea level. So I'm here and I just had a moment, I just had a reflection that I wanted to share with you right away. I mean, I'm right now at, you might say, the peak of a mountain, and this kind of like got me thinking of points in my career where I was at the peak of my career. I was making the income that I wanted. I was in a corporate job. I was in the corporate world. I was in a senior management position, and it felt like I was at the peak of my career because I had responsibilities. I had these projects where I was bringing in money for the company. I had responsibilities more than I ever had before. I was making money. I had my PhD, and I had these benefits that the company was giving to me. So it felt very comfortable. I felt accomplished, and I felt like I was at the peak of my career. And I worked at that job for 2 years, but for 2 years I was dissatisfied. I was miserable. I mean, there were days where I was just dreading the Monday mornings. There were days where I didn't understand, why am I doing all of this? And how does it fit in with my life? How does it fit in with who I want to be? I just couldn't see that, and it didn't make sense. Why couldn't I be happy if I was at the peak of my career? I mean, it is estimated that we spend at least 1/3 of our lives in our careers, 1/3 of our lives working in the company, 1/3 of our lives working, right? So why is it that we spend 1/3 of our lives working, and yet the statistics show, a survey of thousands of people showed that 70% of people are feeling and not engaged in their work. They are dissatisfied with what they're doing. So it seems like there's an unbalance there. And I've talked to a lot of people who tell me, Grace, I am being paid well. I have great benefits at work. I couldn't have imagined having the job title I do, and yet I'm so unhappy. Why? Why is that? Why can't I be happy in this? And so this is the question. Why is it that you're at the peak of your career? You feel like you're at the peak of your career. All of your friends and family are telling you you're at the peak of your career. People would die to be in your position. Yet why do I feel so unfulfilled? Why do I feel yet so unhappy? And here's the thing. The reason why is that we want fulfillment, and the reason why that you're not fulfilled if you're at the peak of your career is because money does not equal fulfillment. Job title does not equal fulfillment. Projects that are given to you, opportunities at work does not equal fulfillment. The thing is, if you are not doing something that is aligned with your highest value, then happiness and fulfillment will elude you. So you must figure out first and foremost, what are your highest values? Right? And so this is not a trick question. I mean, oftentimes when I ask my clients, what are your highest values? They tell me things like, well, honesty is my highest value. Not stealing time from my boss, being responsible, those are my highest value. But is it really your highest value though? If being at work and showing up on time and not stealing time from your company, if that's your highest value, then how come, for example, you are wanting to trying to rush home a little bit earlier every night to be with your family? So the thing is it what you're doing? Is it aligned with your highest value? Or do you feel that your highest values, what your highest values are actually idealisms? They're social idealisms. So honesty, integrity, authenticity, those things are ideal to have. They're social idealisms, but are they your highest values? Not values that were instilled upon you, not values that society is telling you that they're good to have, but what you naturally incline to. Those are your highest values. Look at it. It's easy to figure out. Look at what area in your life are you naturally inclined to think about? Where do you spend most of your time thinking about? What do you spend most of your time talking about? What do you spend most of your time reading about? And where do you spend most of your space? Just look around you and you will be able to pick out what your highest values are. So the way that you can instill fulfillment in your career path is if you make your work You make your career path, your career journey aligned with your highest values. And it's okay to be honest to yourself about what your highest values are, and not needing to feel guilt about it, not needing to feel ashamed about it. Because if your highest values are to spend time with family, is to be there for your kids at breakfast in the morning, and not being to rush in the subway or rush in a taxi to work, if your highest values are that you want to be there at dinner, at breakfast with your family, it will show in your life and you will feel it. Right? And so that's why every day, if your work is not aligned with that, you'll find yourself trying to look for ways to go home just a little bit earlier, or try to look for ways just to stay home a little bit earlier so you can wait for your kids to wake up in the morning, to have breakfast with them in the morning. And if those are your highest values, there's nothing wrong with that. First of all, is to remove the shame off the table. There's no need to feel guilty about that being your highest value. Rather, the way to get fulfillment in your career is to honor those values. So first acknowledge them, and then to honor them. You might be thinking, well, Grace, I get paid a lot of money. I have the benefits that I need to support my family with. I have an excellent job title, and maybe even you have the corner office in your company, and you're asking, well, how do I give all of that up? Maybe your friends and family are telling you, you're at the peak of your career. How can you want something different? But let me ask you, are you happy where you're at? Do you feel like, and are your friends and family telling you you're at the peak of your career, but at the same time, you're unhappy, you're unfulfilled, and you're just coasting through life in this default mode and wondering, there's gotta be more out there, wondering why you continue doing this? Well, that is what I call the golden handcuffs. The golden handcuffs, because you feel like you can't leave because they got you. They're paying you. You've never been paid so much before, or they're giving you projects, opportunities you never thought you could have before, or maybe they're their benefits that can give your family and yourself the health care you need, or the allied health care that you need. So that is the golden handcuffs. It makes it so difficult to leave that position. Now, I'm not saying that you need to quit. I'm not saying that you need to walk away from that. What I'm saying is that it's time to do a deep introspection. It's time to really reflect on, is it true that that is my highest value? Is that income, that benefit, the corner office, those projects, those opportunities, that job title, are those truly your highest values? If they are truly your highest values, then you would be fulfilled. You would be happy. You would feel like you are aligned with your purpose. If you're not, then it's something else. It's time to explore, what is that? What is truly my highest value? Right? If it's not the money, if it's not being paid paying the highest, if it's not that corner office, then what is it? Right? Give yourself that space. Give yourself that permission to explore that for yourself, because there's only one life. There's only one life to live, and how can we not make that awesome? How can we not live life that is true to ourselves? How can we not be authentic in this career path that we have? Right? And in doing so, you can be an example to those after you. You can be an example to your family, to your kids as well, that it is possible to reconnect with your purpose and to be honest and honoring of your highest value and your purpose.